But Mohammed,
Oh my god. Yes,
Mohammed, ask me if I'm worried about signs.
Arfad, are you worried about signs?
I'm worried about signs. So
I
Williams
know you
apparently
are.
looked pretty good in testing. They set the fastest lap at some point in time. Nobody expects him to actually be fastest, but people are saying they should be at the front end of the midfield.
That's what I think too.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think James Vowles has been a really good team principal for them. He's brought in a lot of external ideas, revitalized that team.
Yeah.
I think for Williams, they've got a great lineup in Albon and Sainz.
Hmm.
I think Sainz has said, I'm surprised at how open Albon is being with me because, the focus is about just pushing the team forward and that's what we're working on. And I think for Williams, that driver lineup is good. But this whole project will be career ending for one of those drivers.
Do you remember last year we were ranking the drivers? We did like the S tier, A tier, B tier.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about Alex Albon, we said I was like, don't you want to move him up to A tier because this guy has completely destroyed Logan Sargent. And then you were like, well, we can't really make that decision until he goes up against Carlos Sainz. And I think I'm excited to find out what happens. Like, I'm genuinely excited. I want to know.
Same.
This is
I'm
gonna be
nervous,
fun.
and I don't know why I'm nervous. I just want them both to have a good time.
No, because Alex has had his good time. Alex had the redemption story. Okay, he got kicked out too early. He came back. He scored points. He was the darling star of Williams, and now it's time for the table to turn again, and let's put him up against a real driver. And I want to see what happens with him and Carlos. I'm excited for it. And I'm also excited to see Williams back at the front of the midfield because I think for a long time they were nowhere at the back. Do you remember 2 years ago when their car crashed and they lifted it and everyone was like, "Look how plain it is." And James Vowles did a whole presser where he was like, "Listen, guys, if we're looking at pictures of the bottom of the car and saying that's why we're not fast, there are many other reasons I could have told you that's why we are not fast." He did a whole press conference for that.
I know.
So they've come so far, and I like to see hard work rewarded. So I think this could be great for Sainz. I'm not worried for Sainz. I'm a little worried for Alex because I don't think he's going to look so hot coming out of this fight. But it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a fun fight.
Who's going to win, Sainz or Albon?
Carlos. My money's on Carlos all the way.
Yeah.
When Leclerc was not in his top form, Sainz would win the race. He looked better than him. Sainz is a really good driver. When he was, with at McLaren with Lando did not look like the number one driver. It looked like it was going to be Carlos Sainz. Like, he's a good driver. I think he's going to give Alex a run for his money.
I think I've got I don't know what it is. Not quite recency bias, but recency sympathy for Sainz for having to be booted out of Ferrari. So I'm team Sainz for now.
Why?
But
imagine you lost your job, but you found out the guy replacing you is the best doctor in the world. He trained in the top institutions. He's done so many case hours. He's whatever. Would you really be like, oh, I'm getting replaced, but it's for the best doctor ever. I don't fault them,
Yeah, but I can still feel bad for him. I can understand it. Also, it wouldn't be very hard to find a doctor better than me.
That's not true. I've asked some of your colleagues, and they speak very highly of you.
Yeah, because I'm a nice guy. I compensate for my incompetency with niceness. That's why people like me.
You haven't questioned how I've talked to your colleagues across the world.
You've been in the same hospital as me at some points.
It's true. Well, at one point, a long time ago.
At one point, a long time ago. I assumed it was then. But yeah, so I'm nervous for Albon. I'm nervous for Sainz, and I guess that's why I'm worried about